welcome everyone to the Steaming Pile. I am John Spalding, and we are going to join conversation already in progress. And I sent you a reply.
I think it's a perfect opportunity to bring it up and just openly chat about it. Because they're valid points for sure.
Well, I'm glad that that's the first step. Was I was obviously venting a little bit, but I thought it came from a true place. So I definitely was interested to confirm that. I mean, I know it's something we've spoken about before, but at this point, it's like it definitely feels like there's something blocking the show taking the next step, if that's even what people are looking out of the show, or if that's just me, or like I don't know what to do. Last night, again, I wanted to invite people on, and I'm like, God damn it, it'd be a lot easier if I just had my own show to invite them on to. Then there's no worries, right? I ended up not inviting them at all. I mean, I have their information, but I kind of just in the moment kind of just froze up and was like, and then I've been thinking about it ever since.
So it's interesting, right? Because I see it a couple different ways. One is I see it as maybe whether or not they would like it or not, and maybe you don't, and they would. But the other one is that the intention for this show as an open space show, at least from my perspective, is we just use that as a process each episode to determine the agenda. So then what we have as a show and for what we want to get out of it, it should be determined by the people that are here. Not necessarily on a weekly basis, but ones that, we've all been doing it since it started. And I would listen I would take everyone that is live streamed with us on a consistent basis. I would take their input and have them be a part of the show however they wanted. And I guess that was always the intention. So if you want, and here's the thing, I like what you've been doing with putting the thumbnails out and setting the agendas and the stuff that you've been doing with Crypto Slate. So I'm open to a broader conversation of bringing people together and seeing if we want to design the next phase of what TSP is.
Or even...
But the other one is, though, too, if you want your own show, then of course.
Well, the thing is I love the idea that it's not just me. There's always multiple people in. And so it's like we built it up so much. And I love the community so much that it seems like there's a lot of potential there. So especially if you guys came out and were like, no, that's the way it is, we're going to do a different post. I don't know, whatever. If you took like a hard stance, that'd be one thing, but everyone's always willing to work on the concept, and, it's always evolving. So to me, it's just, someone speaks up, something changes from it, or it doesn't, and, we go on. So I'm just looking again to, it came up a little bit, and I guess we thought about things, but never really put anything in motion, did we? Kind of just thought, let's see how this goes, and it was pretty good for a while, but you never know, right? And that question mark's what has brought me to bringing it up. So
yeah.
Maybe like a special episodes where the rooms, invite only, or I don't know. I'm just brainstorming, of course, but we can do something like that. There's options.
Or even something like broadcast guidelines, or at least, simple stuff. How do, or if there's a guest, then we just moderate the Zoom room to where we don't allow comments until after either the panel's done or the person's done kind of giving an introduction, or we moderate it to where you do an interview, and then after you do the interview, or whoever the interviewees are, like maybe it's the three of us are asking question of the panelist, or whoever's there are identified as the ones that are going to be doing the interview, then it's a broader open forum after that.
Yeah, something like that, definitely. Yeah, we'll work it out. And, there's definitely tons of possibility there, so we'll figure it out for sure. Because that's the more I get involved in that world, the more I'm just like meeting all sorts of interesting people. So we'll be able to, I think, step that game up pretty good. So it should be fun. But so I appreciate you.
I saw James Fury start a Steam account and jump on Discord.
Yes, he did.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, before we go in deeper in the steaming pile, which I just love the name of the show, and then we have serious talks about how to take the show to the next level. Um, happy birthday. How old are you?
Oh yeah, happy
35.
birthday.
35. Oh man, you make me feel so old.
This is 84.
Yeah, 84. Yeah, I think that the world's turned more into a Philip K. Dick novel than an Orwellian novel. But, just the same, here we are. Live.
How, how's life at 35 though? Like
So far, so good.
I mean, so you've had pretty. I guess you were a rebel when you were young, right? Can you
More
say
or less. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, fine. Yeah.
basically what I'm trying to say is how has your thinking evolved from way back when to now? Are you more optimistic about the world, or are you more
Oh.
pessimistic?
Why does it always have to be the world, Mickey?
I'm curious about perspectives, man.
No, I'm
I
just,
guess at a
yeah.
macro level.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say that it's funny. It's funny you say ask because it's like when you're younger, it's not that your perspective is more positive or negative. I'd say it's that you just your perspective. And I
There you
suppose
go.
I was like that because that's I dropped out of high school as a sophomore. I was in a metal band. I thought I'd be a rock star. I get my girlfriend pregnant. She ends up not being able to have the kid. I mean, there's just a whole range of things that led to me eventually going back to school, still in a metal band, meeting my wife, starting a family. I mean, there's just a whole, somewhere between starting a family, realizing I wasn't going to be a rock star. I realized that I was really into politics. I was really into shit people didn't want to talk about, that it was okay to piss people off about. There was something about that. Like I was into riling feathers. I always had that weird personality, what right or wrong about me. And I think it started actually with atheism. I found atheism.
Oh,
And it was
nice.
like,
That's
this is a
really
great way. Richard
Oh,
Dawkins was the first, definitely the most influential non-fiction book I ever read was The God Delusion. I read that and didn't know that I had been an atheist all my life. He just to put into words the things I had always kind of just questioned about this belief or that belief. And that's kind of where I really begun my critical thought. Next thing you know, I'm in school and, doing the thing. And so I think that really, you never know what leads to what if that didn't happen, would I be intellectually curious? And just, you never know. So, but it seems like somewhere around there, I was kind of writing those sort of lyrics in my band. So if I look at old lyrics, like I could see that thinking was there, but obviously there was no, no historical reference, no actual, perspective to it. Cause I was just like a young, angry kid looking at the world. So yeah, I definitely, my perspective's gotten better, but I think the most frustrating thing is growing up with temper. I've heard so many times it'll get better with age. And I guess it does. I can't say it's not better, but
you're better at controlling it, I guess, right?
I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's like when it's there so prominently. and now I'm like seeing it in battles with my kid and him. Yeah. So it's like so hard to run away from. But maybe that's a good thing because it helps me, remember where I'm coming from, where I came from, and to work with him. So, it's 35 years and, it's been the last few weeks have been pretty good though, unemployment's running out in a few weeks. So I'm trying to, really look for something so I don't go back in admin. But with so many side projects that aren't jobs yet building up, I'm pretty optimistic going forward. Crypto Slate thing, got a big show with Unite Seattle coming up February 22nd. We already have 50 tickets sold to that. That's a live show, comedy show in downtown Seattle we're doing. brick and mortar style. So you know, there's potential everywhere. Something's bound to blow up. I'm trying to get introduced. I got introduced digitally to iHeartMedia as a big audio producer of podcasts, and there's a Seattle studio, and they have it's either Crypto for Dummies or Blockchain for Dummies is recorded there. And we weren't sure if he was going to be at the event last night that I produced the stream for at Crypto Slate, and he wasn't. We were going to get introduced in person there, so I got introduced earlier today via Twitter. So hopefully I'll be at least sitting in on a podcast and at least, you know, be able to bend his ear and he'll know my name before too long. So yeah, there's lots of things going out there. So, you know,
Nice.
it's looking up in that way. So
Right on. Good.
perspective's always changing. You know how that guys go. You know, what's the saying? I'll butcher it, but it's like if I was fighting with a fellow man is like me fighting with myself over a disagreement 7 years ago. I mean, because I'm like such a different person in my way of thinking. So
Oh, yeah.
I too have a bad temper, and I always found it easier, especially with the young one, is he responds a lot better when I don't have a bad temper. So
Yeah.
I always have
Well,
to keep that in mind.
that's certainly
But
true.
it's hearing you is reminding me of that this is going to continue because yours is older, and I'm just starting.
Yeah, and I mentioned that last night because actually Mitchell until last night thought that my kids were young.
And
He's like, when you say dad duties, I'm like picturing like you putting them into bed and like, I mean, he didn't say this, but he's like, you know, I pictured younger kids, and I'm like, no, it's dad duties. And I instantly thought like self-conscious, like, did he think like, oh, they're young, older, what the hell could you be busy doing? And it's because, trust me, dude, they're, you know,
yeah,
it's my doing.
yeah.
But it's done, my friend.
So I want to give a shout out to Tretch Renfro. Guess what I did? Guess what I did, guys? I had you guys muted to do the opening music for the show,
Oh boy.
and it wasn't until I saw his chat thing come through in OBS that I was able to unmute you and get you in there. So thank you,
yeah.
Tretch. You saved the show. I fucked up. He sent me the little helpy caster icon, and he said he was waiting to hear me talk before he checked out. So thanks, shout out to you for waiting around to make sure that our audio was good here. Even after a year, there's still stuff you forget live streaming.
You never know.
But we are simulcasting in all sorts of different places.
Oh yeah.
Where's everybody at today?
YouTube, Periscope, and DLive.
Cool.
Vim, DLive, and YouTube.
I am at Vim and YouTube. So we're plastering YouTube. That's cool. I like that.
Oh yeah.
We got some DLive and some Vim and a Periscope.
Yep.
I thought about Periscope. Does that go through Twitter now, or is it still separate?
All right. So last week, it's still separate. It doesn't post on your Twitter feed.
Okay.
Oh.
But it shows
yeah,
up there,
and
doesn't it?
Well, yeah. So
if
you
you have
can
it
launch-
connected or whatever?
You could launch. No.
Oh, okay.
I've even done that, but it's not posting on my Twitter, so I'm not sure. I know that you can launch a live stream right straight from your Twitter feed, and you know that's Periscope being pulled in. But yeah, streaming to Periscope now, logging in, doesn't kick anything off to Twitter.
Okay.
I started streaming accidentally to the Crypto Slate YouTube because apparently you have to switch your profile and scene collection. It was only for a second. It's fine.
Hey,
Totally
Crypto
fine,
Slate.
guys.
Welcome to the steaming pile. Please come on anytime. Zoom.us 468-186-430.
Oops. Anyways.
So what are you
Yeah,
doing for
so-
your birthday, man?
Talking to us.
Anything this weekend?
Well, last weekend I did a little bit. I went shopping a little bit, and just like hung out with the fam. And tonight we're cooking steaks and that sort of thing. Nothing
Nice.
too special. Nothing too special.
Dude, steaks.
Steaks, some
Special.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
I'm drinking some Elysian stout. I like the dark beers, so.
Nice.
And like I said, hoping for some jobs to get me back. I finally got like, you know, like when you graduate, they have a job portal connected to the school to help you get where people will send jobs looking for people that are alumnus or whatnot. And they switched it for the longest time. I hadn't been on it, and it was really hard to get back in if you don't remember like your student ID number and whatnot. So I'm finally in that, and that's got some cool opportunities. So hopefully
right on.
something will you know, will bite. Man, I writing again is so freaking stressful. I am so bad at, that's the one thing I didn't learn or they didn't teach me. I think I've said this before, but the organizing, I think it's something with just whatever learning disabilities I have in relation to ADD that I cannot help but spend and waste so much time on rearranging paragraphs. And like I struggle to get like the whole story down and then look at it as a whole. Like it's like I'll write 3 paragraphs and then switch to the first, you know, switch around those 3, and it's so weird. Even when I know I do it and I'm like, okay, streamline this bad boy, it's still like I end up stressing out way too much. And then I'll get paid like the same amount for that as like I will for streaming for an hour. And I'm like, Mitchell, to me it's like day and night. Everyone else I don't even know anymore how easy it is. Like I'd like to see him write an article just so I could be like, yeah, exactly, that's the amount of stress that's okay when there's no deadline, when it's just like can you get it like at 10ish, you know? And I'm like, oh god,
Oh my god, yeah.
Writing deadlines is tough.
Writing deadlines only too, like other deadlines can motivate me if I feel confident, I think. Or like the pressure of a live event, that's a certain particular kind of pressure that I'm like, I love being in that, you know. So
Pensef gave us a shout out on Twitter. Oh, can you
Nice.
see it in there?
Boom.
on,
there we go. Thanks, Pensef.
Shit. Thank you.
Probably because I blasted comments correcting her.
And he's been doing the steaming pile. He did the steaming pile EU on Sunday.
Okay.
And we had a good conversation there about Steam. We had a guest on there. His name is Niles from Ireland. Had a good conversation. And Patrick came in for a little bit and talked about Shop Steam and a couple other projects that he was a part of.
Nice.
I like this. I like simulcast into YouTube because then I don't have to worry about uploading the VOD later. I just copy the embed code and make another post.
Yep.
Exactly.
Let's use over on YouTube now.
Yeah, I got, we go to Costco, which is like a big box store. I'm sure you guys have your version, and that's where we buy meat. We have 2 fridges so that we can collect basically for the freezers. We did have like a box freezer, but we try and find them cheap, you know, and used. And so when you're lucky, you'll get one of those, but we just have a couple freezers. So that's what I was doing. That's why I was running late, because I'm sitting there cutting up a big old thing of steak into like 4 packages, and we got like a
Damn. So I mean,
a vacuum sealer,
okay,
so that we vacuum seal them in, you know, whatever portions we want. So yeah, we've got a whole thing, and so I got all caught up in the butchering of the meats.
Nice.
Yeah,
we've got a Costco here too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's
good shit.
Oh shit.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kirkland's all over the place.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a couple others even in this state that kind of, they're not as big as Costco, but they try and, like, what is it? Not Ralph's. Maybe it is Ralph's is one of them. Anyways, what's up with you guys? What's going on in your worlds? Everyone around me is constantly going to Denver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mitchell was just there for skiing, actually, and then the other guy was there for some crypto thing, or he's from there. One of the guys from the talk last night was from I can't think of the name of it now. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, I think he said he was from there. So yeah, I get lots of people mentioning the state and that city particularly. So
Yeah, there's a good amount of meetups and stuff here. A lot of stuff going around. I mean, around here in the crypto space, especially now in the realm of legislation, and then just trying to talk policy. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, ton of stuff in Boulder, small little startups, blockchain startups. Yeah, it's a good place to get your feet wet for sure. You essentially just get thrown into people that are 1,000 times smarter than you are in the space.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We have Cleveland's interesting. Cleveland has it has a very large meetup group that are like crypto and like I would say kind of just Bitcoin and Ethereum enthusiasts. And then there's another group of more affluent people that are interested in blockchain technology for industry purposes.
Right.
So healthcare, supply chain, education, all that kind of stuff, because those are the big industries in the area, insurance
Sure.
and stuff like that. So but they don't, in my opinion, I don't think they play nice together. Whereas they played nice together and honored each other's individualities, but put together a bigger conference that really used Cleveland the way it should be, then I think they would be on the right track. But the group's they're really just not there yet. And with me doing more of the G1NBC broadcasting stuff and meeting with people out here, and I brought on a team that's helping me manage the site and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't had time to do it, but they're there, and I think they're doing well. I'm a member of both, and I see their meetups and their stuff like that. So they have another conference in Cleveland coming. It's called Blockland, and that's the more of the industry-specific conference. And so hopefully we'll be doing some planning and some work over there. The only other thing that I have going on is I reached out to Ken Melendez on Steam, and there's another Cleveland couple. They're called Mattifer, Mattifer, and I believe they have a touring company or a travel company. At least that's the link on their Steam profile. And so the four of us are all from the area. So I reached out to them to gauge their interest in doing a Steam up, if you will, a meetup for Steamians. So,
Yep.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that after Ken gets back from I forget the name of their initiative now, but it went from Steam creators to blockchain something, and they're doing that thing in Austin in a couple weeks. Block Creators Conference, I believe that's what it is.
Right.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, it's not much else is going on here. Actually, during the Bernie campaign, we obviously met tons of people, including you guys. And
I reached out to John. Sorry.
Did you?
I did. I said, hey, I want to rebroadcast all of the previous 2016 episodes of, selected best of content from your YouTube site from that year.
Good shit.
Right.
I'm going to put it on the G1N token account and broadcast it on Vim and then back to a website.
Good. Yeah, I met tons of people, and this one lady, what is her name? Hialda. She was actually she was I guess the branding person for the Bernie campaign, or in some aspect of that department, creating the Bernie brand. So anyways, I reached out to her and I'm like, hey, I'm thinking, because I do want to still kick off Spool of Thought. And I reached out and I'm like, hey, I need an icon for this, something. So yeah, anyways, she's like, hey, for Bernie family, she charged me like $40. And she sent me this massive, like, comprehensive questionnaire. I filled it out. Took like a couple weeks, and she shot me over like some drafts for a logo. So that's pretty cool.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to get like that thing going, and just continuing the grind on having conversations with interesting people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I like that title. I don't know
Yeah.
that I heard it or I missed it in another broadcast.
Yeah, I forget where I brought it up. I've mentioned it a couple times.
Your kids are
you got a
totally
creeper.
crash bombing your video, by the
know,
way.
they're
It's awesome. Yeah.
awesome. Super cute.
It is.
Yeah, they're funny.
It's just, yeah. My kids will, like, sometimes I'll have the YouTube channel up or I'll have the DTube channel up, and they'll be like, Dad, that's you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yep, I'm internet famous, guys. I'm internet famous. Like, can we
Yeah.
watch Mickey?
The joke around my house is I'll go around telling people I'm famous just to piss them off. Oh yeah, check me out. Check out my show. Don't tell them about your show, Dad.
Dude, 35 likes.
Yeah.
Take that.
Exactly.
Take that, bro.
Growing every day. That's how I get them to start streaming too. I'm your dad, you know. I'm just building up ahead of you. You know. The boy's got a lot of confidence. He's like, you know, when I want to, I'll get way more followers, and starts like, we've got way more followers here.
Maybe
got him
you
on-
two.
got him
Maybe
on
you
Twitter.
should help produce his show.
I'm right there, man.
Let's bring
it'll
him
happen.
on and like let's scope out his show and get him started.
Well, he's a musician, so
That's
I've been trying to get him to do like live music on there.
Mickey
So
and
that's
I'll
why-
help get him out of his shell and put down some thought.
Yeah.
Hold him accountable.
I think it'd be good for him.
Invite him on.
That outlet, you know. So yeah.
Will he play? Can you set up the mic in another room where he can play?
Oh yeah, we could totally. I totally have it down
That'd be
where I could do
badass.
that. So yeah, I think it's just.
See if he's interested.
I've mentioned it off and on, but I'll come at him serious about it.
What's his name?
Quentin.
Quentin.
Yep.
Jump on the steaming pile.
Boom, clipped. You've been called out, son. He plays in front of people, but for some reason he's a little more. I haven't heard him say this. It seems like he's a little more uneasy about doing it online. Maybe because it's like direct people. I don't know. Like he has to or could potentially hear the feedback. Whereas live, it's like, I guess for some reason, it's like you're on the stage and then you leave and it's maybe not susceptible to it as much. I don't know. Friends aren't there.
That's why it'll be good to have you there, because then he doesn't have to have any speakers in there where he is, so he won't hear anything. And then if we have any questions, you'll just scream down the hallway.
Well, the way I think I could set it up so that I
Or do
could
phone.
still it would be multiple mics. I don't know. We could figure it out so that lots of stuff is acoustic and not
There you
metal.
go.
He likes the metal,
That's
but
perfect.
right now that's his thing. He hasn't matured into the metal scream. He's just now getting there. So he's doing a lot of like 90s rock. That's what his band does.
He can
Nothing
upload
nice.
clips to DTube.
Yeah,
How old
exactly. He's almost 16,
is he?
15.
Okay, so he's still a young guy.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's got time. He's still building, he's in lessons, so he's still building technique. When I was his age, I was about to be in my first metal band, like, oh, you play? I play too. Do we know a drummer? That sort of thing. And that's where you start. I started writing original music. Right now, he's in a band that's put together by the class,
Mm-hmm.
and they're only doing covers. All these kids seem to have different musical influences. So it's not like a super gelled band. Like, you get those guys that are just tight, So that's, I think, his next step is he knows a couple people. He's constantly trying to find friends that like are willing to play or have played in the past. And he's like, oh, I'll find a bass for you, and like, so he's trying to put them together. So I'm excited for that because that's when he'll really be able to open himself up creatively, and we'll really get to see what he wants to be as a musician.
You
Yeah.
ever jam out with him?
Yeah, I have. I've actually streamed it once. I tried to learn how to play bass to Something in the Way, Nirvana, and we did Doom style. So something in the way, and it was like really slow and like heavy. And his buddy at the time, who moved away since, but he was on drums. Quentin was on guitar. I was bassing it, and yeah, we've done that a couple times actually. I think once old school before D Live jumped, and then once after they did on Vim, I think I did it just the two
Nice.
of us.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely been done before, and we'll do it, in just ourselves. We have a couple songs we've started to write and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely use it to bond. We bond even more over going to the concerts. That's what we've done more than anything. We've gone to a good handful of concerts already. He's seen people from like Guar to System of a Down to Alice in Chains with new singer, but he's getting a good list of bands already. Slipknot, Manson. He's getting there.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's fun. We both get to be out there physical with each other, but it's okay. It's like one of those sort of things, it's fun, right? It's all in, you're all out there. And damn, last time I was in that pit, my favorite band, it was on Halloween this year. And he said, literally, this next song, I'm shouting out to everyone over 30 because you're going to feel this tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
And I've had a pinched nerve in my shoulder ever since. That motherfucker
He knew it.
jinxed me. I was going way too hard, but that's all right. It was fun. So yeah,
Nice.
those are the best times I think right now, because I think we're just able to kind of let loose a little. Be less dad,
Mhm.
because he's not going to do the things I don't want him to do either, which is like run off and that sort of thing. So it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good in school now. He's doing much better. He's going to more classes. So we're getting there. It's never going to be perfect, but the right direction is the right direction. So
For sure.
Adventures. Yeah. I feel like I'm talking a lot, guys, but
What should we do? What should we do for the show's future? Are we talking about that? You said you might not be able to come on for that long, so I was trying to see where.
oh no, that's
going.
totally fine. I appreciate that. Yeah, no. Well,
I didn't want to have like a long drawn out.
no. Well, here, no. I kind of already mentioned where I was coming from. Just the idea that like, if there's a space to build for guests that we're worried about that sort of thing happening, then that's perfect. My next worry would be, okay, because I don't know if you noticed, it's the first thing I noticed that Mitchell mentions on my author bio on cryptoslate.com that I'm the host of the show.
Mhm.
I instantly thought, I'm not the host. I'm like one of the hosts. He just has seen me in like this, planning host mode. And I thought,
we all know what you did. We all know what you did.
Dude, no, I
Submitted
swear.
it. You submitted it. You posted
I
it.
swear. I was like, John's going to be
You
mad.
took.
I'm getting yelled at.
Dude, I'm over here snaking your guys' conversation, pushing it out to my social media channels, hoping that I get 50 followers. You
No, I know.
have
Well, that's,
1,050.
Well, on Twitter. They don't care.
No, but I would never.
The day I can stream on Twitter, now that would be cool.
We were talking about it, and I forget where I heard it. I thought I heard it last week. Maybe it was James that was saying it about like how many IT projects fail, that you can really only look past the amount of time that your project or company has been around. So if you've been around for a year, you can look a year ahead. If you've been around for 3 months, you can look, 3 months ahead.
Oh, I see.
Okay. I've always just been elated that the show, like, everyone liked the name.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
like, I don't,
if
if you want to be the
man.
host, you can be the host. I'm just cool. Like just simulcasting, like, to me, that is my great excitement for the last week and a half, has been figuring that out. You guys all hopped on it earlier than I did, figured it out, and said we should be doing that, and you guys are right. So I'm learning just as much. I don't credit. I really do like live streaming, and I do my experimental shows and broadcasting videos and stuff like that on other times. I'm cool with this being a show where professionals and or people that have interesting projects want to come and pitch it to a panel. And
I guess that's where I'm torn too, because I do like the silly shows where we're, it's like, the weird news stuff, and I don't know
I do like weird news.
I don't know if
That's what I mean. I think there's
If
some
they're
cool
both-
segments.
If there's an area for both, or if
Yeah, there is. I think there is.
There
I think
is,
you know
okay.
maybe we do weird. I think that's the thing is you come up with the agenda that week or the week before we can do a main topic like kind of how we did live streaming. So next week, guys, we're talking about live streaming. Anyone who has stuff they want to talk about for live streaming, come on and be a part of that show. And if there's people there that are not talking about live streaming or that weren't there the week before, and there are a bunch of people there that are there to talk about live streaming, obviously that's what we talk about. If we plan a topic and no one shows up and it's just us, then we have to kind of wing it like we normally would. And we have stuff like weird news and stuff like that waiting to go or, you know.
Yeah, that's always a possibility too. Always have a couple that aren't super important, but you can always fall back on, which I've been doing. I mean, I have those in the back pocket always.
Yeah, and I think you've been doing a good job at kind of outlining, you know, here are the main things we're going to touch on, and then the show still goes where it goes based on who chats and who shows up and all that stuff.
And I still think that's an endearing part of the show. The fact that like you really can, because that's what I always liked about like say Joe Rogan is, oh, X is going on the Joe Rogan. Like Mike Tyson goes on the Joe Rogan show a few months back. Are they talking about fighting the whole time? No. For instance, Mike Tyson's starting like a weed company. So they're talking about weed. They get into the politics of weed. Next thing you know, you're interested in a conversation about politics between Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan, right? I mean,
For
so
sure.
you never know where it's going to lead, and the different people that you have on kind of lead to different areas of interest. So I kind of like that part. And so, yeah, that's totally cool. So I'm hearing it's all good things as far as I'm concerned. And we'll just keep the momentum going. I'm going to keep, asking people on. For instance, this one guy who's a DJ that seems interested, but I've never gotten him to actually sign up for either. But he streams all the time, and he's doing like local gigs. So I thought maybe some sort of music episode where we take a look at maybe some decentralized music apps that are out there, which we've done before. But then maybe even I know we've talked about like looking on those places for a couple good songs and bringing them up to share. We could do that sort of thing. And then just, I'm sure I could find some topics about like the music industry, either in general or blockchain specific, that we can talk about. So like,
Yeah.
I like to mix that up too in that way and have maybe topic driven episodes. Cause I know he's going to come on and he's not going to talk like maybe James did. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had a real flowy conversation, whereas maybe he's going to talk a little bit about it. Maybe maybe you never know. Maybe he'll be really passionate about a certain genre of music and get into it. So, but you never know. So that would be like the backup plan. Talk to him if it goes one way. Cause I had a whole bunch of stuff to talk about other than what we talked about with James, but it's like, well, I'm not going to interrupt it, so.
And I definitely think a music episode would fly. And one thing that I would like to a subtopic for that I would like to talk about is, because I know there's decentralized musicians and things like that. There's also the Creative Commons and licensing your work for reuse, or the different ways that you can license your work. I think just even highlighting that real quickly, the 4 or 5 different types of licenses, and saying, and then showing people the best ways to find Creative Commons type musicians and music that are out there would be a good part of that. Yeah,
and that actually could lend itself to people that aren't familiar, like our potential guest. Why would I do this? Why is this interesting to me? Why is this innovative to the music industry? And all these topics will kind of be sewn together
and they'll be he'll also be able to come on, meet us, and tell us what he does, and then he'll leave there with, and so will the audience, a conversation on decentralized music, conversation on Creative Commons, and then a discussion on what the future of music could look like. Another one that might be interesting would be to have someone come on and talk about the new content or copyright law in the EU and have it related to its impact on music. I don't know how far down the road we would do the show, but we could research someone at least and reach out with our Steam network and find someone.
Yep.
I like that idea of a twofer. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, DJ Smiles with a Z. So we'll reach out to him, and I'll start looking into that. I'll make a note here. That's a good idea.
And I can invite some local Cleveland folks on too, even if it's just to listen or do quick introductions of what they do on the music scene here.
Do either of you have Netflix?
No. I think so.
No. What's your? Just email me your username and password, and I will.
What everyone does.
Nice. I know.
That's literally what I was thinking. Like, do I know anyone? I know I've got okay, Amazon. Yeah, I've got X's Amazon. Okay, YouTube Red. Yeah, I got her. Okay, I don't know.
We're shutting down your account. Why? Well, we heard you live streaming.
There's this super cool show. I think they're, what is it, season 3? Maybe season 3. Have you heard of the OA?
The OA or DOA?
No.
The OA. Yeah, so the OA, it's super fascinating show. It just came out with their, like I said, second or third season. Dude, just got captivated by this new season. First episode, probably 10 minutes in, they mention Ethereum. And yeah, dude, they pull up a wallet and some lady has like 31 grand in Ethereum, right?
Interesting.
That's how I'm paying my state of Ohio taxes this year. I already told my wife.
What?
Yeah, state of Ohio is now accepting crypto to as tax payments.
Okay. Yeah,
so that's how I'm going to pay it.
Nice.
Nice.
Obviously, I'll either be recording it or live streaming it.
Yeah. Great show though.
That's cool.
And then, we sat and watched.
What type of genre is it?
It's.
Or would you call it?
Oh man. It's definitely sci-fi. Sci-fi thriller. Probably not even sci-fi, because there's not enough. I would say sci-fi thriller, because they are hopping in they hop in different dimensional realities. So
that's definitely sci-fi, bro.
Yeah, it's sci-fi. I know. I was thinking like more technology instead of this is more consciousness rather than technology. That's allowing you to do this. So
yeah.
Anyways, it's really cool. They mentioned blockchain in like third episode in.
Heck yeah.
And they're integrating like this AR augmented reality is also in this game. And what else? It's phenomenal how they've at least whoever's producing this show knows their shit, and they're helping mainstream adoption on this shit. And yeah, it's just it was cool to see it in the show, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
Freaking YouTube! You got to set up the thumbnail first. I forgot.
I did it because I went because I did it last week, and I was getting pissed because it wasn't showing me as live, and so I'm like stomping around, and then I went back to my settings, saw that it was set to private, and saw that it was the thumbnail of last week's Steaming Pile was my "It's Better With You" Browns Fancast thumbnail. So that sucks.
Ooh, it looks like I can let me save it or change it. So that's nice.
Oh, you can change it even after it's done, or in the middle. You mean?
Right I'm in the middle of streaming, so I don't know about once it's done.
Yeah,
but
I could
middle even, which is nice. So on the VOD, hopefully it'll say 49.
I don't care though. It's all set up now, and I just go in and change it where it needs to be changed. Hopefully it works. That's cool stuff. Simulcasting.
Yeah, I like what you said about the, you can only plan as far as you've come along for, lack of the better.
Yeah. Next week will be our 1-year anniversary, unless this week is it.
It's
because it was
exactly.
it's either this week. I have to check and see if that was the pilot or if that was my pitch video. And then next week is either episode 1 or episode 2, so I gotta go back and look.
Well, I guess
I'd
yeah,
know if
we're gonna
D-Live
have
didn't
to.
leave. I could go and scroll back and
Don't even get me started. I know.
now I have to go
Jeez.
back to my string of YouTube or my string of recordings and figure it out.
That's what I was doing. I
And
ended
then
up scrolling.
And then the exact next episode, or it was that episode, was when Eric Wilson came in and he was doing D-Live 24 hour. And we got on that list and went from there.
Excellent. And the rest is history. I know Patrick came in when like
Not
week
that
or
long
two
after
later.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was on Sunday. He stayed on for a good while talking to Pensif and Niles. We had a good conversation. About an hour and a half we stayed on.
Nice. So is it like a similar format? Have you noticed that it's kind of doing anything different or?
Very similar. Team Humble was coming on regularly with us, but he had to duck out because he had some other projects that he really wanted to make sure he was focusing on. So Pensif is just putting out feelers to see if there are some other people there that are interested in coming on board. So the
Nice.
last episode was 4 of us. We invited Niles to come on because he put on a cool, I don't know if you guys read it. It's from his Steam name is Nylon11, Niallon 11, 1. And he just put out this really cool post that that you could give to any person and say, this is what the Steam blockchain is. And here is a roadmap to help you get started. And here's how to make the most effective use of your time in your first month to 3 months of doing it. It was really cool. And so we had him on to talk about it. And there was a great snippet in there, towards the end, where Patrick, Niall said it, how he thought what the future or what the next phase of this blockchain was. And Patrick's like, can I take that video? Can I take that sound bite that you just gave and share it? And he's like, yeah, for sure. The VOD's out, so if anyone watching wants to go find it and clip it, it's yours. The other thing that was interesting was Niles called it the people's blockchain in that post. He said making the case for Steam to be the people's blockchain, and by the end of the show, that web domain was gone. It was available. It was
No
available, and then within an hour and a half, it was gone.
What?
Yeah, Patrick stated it because we were like, yeah, we should get it, and we're talking, doing some live research, and Pensif's like, oh, that's not there, and Patrick's like, peoplesblockchain.com is gone, but the people's blockchain isn't, and then it was.
Well, there you go. Snooze, you lose, I guess. So let's see here.
But I would say similar. What do you
So yeah,
check?
it was. Go ahead.
Well, I was asking you what you were checking on.
I was seeing. I thought there was something I remember posting that I was like, oh, that's what it was. Just a little side rant, sports side rant, that the UFC's pay-per-view model, for whatever reason, is getting switched. It's all fucked up now. So you have to have a subscription to ESPN Plus, and then they're gonna lighten the load on the price of the pay-per-views by $10, it seems, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have
the subscription.
ESPN Plus,
Oh,
which is
bummer.
really weird.
Yeah.
Not great for the casual fan that's just like,
Right. There's
oh,
no.
Conor McGregor's fighting. I guess this one time I'll order it. No, I mean it's not. So it's like, are they giving up? They're not. It's only in America, and
But
they're
so-
pushing hard.
It's because we have this belief that we have to have. It's so we can do better forecast. So companies can do better forecasting of money that they have coming in. If they know they have people that are signed up subscribers for a certain amount of time, then they can go to people and say, "Hey, we have this many subscribers this month to month. Here's how we're offsetting those numbers." There's no a la carte options still for internet, for content. I think Netflix does good. I think the people can find their way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that'll be the frustrating thing, because they're clearly trying. I mean, they had something called Fight Pass that you could pay for that was like, I don't know,
I remember
10
that.
or 15, and that's literally like the historic record of the UFC. Every fight ever under under their banner and under Zuffa's banner, which was Pride and Strike Force and all these other, so like just hundreds and hundreds of fights. As like a commentator or working in the industry, it would make sense for you to have a subscription to that. Otherwise, as a fan, maybe it doesn't anymore, because there's a lot of fights for free now that I have ESPN Plus, especially as a fight comes up. Like last week was Wonder Boy, and so they had like past Wonder Boy fights up. You know?
Would they have corporate subscriptions too? You know how the provider, or how they'll make bars pay more to broadcast it? Will they have something like that where
as far as I heard, the bar situation will be the same as far as their go. Or like the owner buys a subscription under like the store's name, and then therefore
that's what I was wondering is
they paid their whatever, you know, a bar has to pay. I'm sure it's a couple $100 or whatever. Yeah, and definitely out of the country, they said it won't affect it, so it's just here. And so someone I listened to, ex-fighter who's a huge podcaster now, and comedian Brendan Schaub, I think it was him that mentioned just the idea that like maybe they're kind of giving up on the sport growing anymore in the United States. And I instantly thought about the people I talk to here, which I feel like you're all like at least I get the vibe. Maybe it's just because we're friendly, but I get the vibe that you're all kind of like casual fans. Like you could be talked into a big fight, watching a big fight, maybe even paying for one. Maybe not the $60. I'm a like balls deep, and I don't want to pay $60 for a fight. But
right.
And so I instantly thought, well, like, what's the price that this could be if they included pay-per-view? Okay, ESPN Plus subscription. You buy it now, includes a year's worth of UFC pay-per-views. How much would I be willing to pay per month to have that? And I'm like, at least I'd consider at least $20. I could probably go, I don't know, maybe I couldn't go any higher, but damn, $20 a month. I mean, they're putting on, it's been like 6 weeks in a row with fight cards.
Yeah.
3 of them, like 2 or 3 of them were ESPN Plus, but they're trying to push the ESPN Plus membership. And a couple of them were pay-per-views that I didn't buy. And so Brendan Schaub again was like, hey, in like 6 months, they're gonna try and get their biggest fights on here to see how they can pull pay-per-view buys with this ESPN thing. And his prediction is it's not going to go good, and you're going to see the price drop, or they're going to do an inclusive deal where it's like, if you are the member of the app, then you'll get like X amount of, that would be perfect. Let me choose. I get to choose 3 pay-per-views. Right. That's my favorite fighter comes, and I'm not crazy about this one. I'll skip it. They have to come up with something. I thought it was very interesting just because we've talked about, you know, blockchain implications in the future of pay-per-view. And just, this is a huge, I mean, it's a sport that seemingly was growing and growing and growing. And this seems like a hard stop. Like they're really going international, which makes sense in a way because there's a lot more growth to be had there. But it's a weird play. Yeah.
They have to be better at individualized a la carte, and it's tough, I think, to create a system that way.
Yeah, well, especially with something like that with sports, because it costs so much upfront to put on the event live.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if it was super cheap just to like in a room, hey, tomorrow I'm going to have 2 dudes in the living room. We're going to put pads up and we're going to fight. It's going to be like 2 of the best fighters in the world.
Right. And it's going to be super HD, all the bells and whistles, great editing.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, though, the referee should be wearing a fucking 360 cam. You should absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Seriously.
On their head or their chest?
Fucking A.
Head or
it would work with them moving around.
A nice little
Don't they have to be stable?
Probably. Yeah.
I think it has to be the camera has to be stable.
No. Well, no, no, because I did have one for a moment, because I wanted to test it out, mess around with it. I took it to the rec center. We took it down a slide, and it was moving around. You could see all over the place with it.
Yeah, if
So it
it's on
doesn't.
the
Pride
head,
used
if
to
it's
do
on the
that.
head with a gimbal, you should be okay.
Yeah. Pride used to do the ref cams a lot, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. So I could see you getting some cool angles there. I would appreciate, like, I don't want to see it on the live feed that I'm watching, but like on the replay or the highlights, I want to see it. But like if they were trying to work it in, like, oh, and I'll go to the camera angle. I mean, I guess I'd have to see how clean they can make it
Most
look.
most
Yeah,
people, I think,
right.
wouldn't like that. Like, they would agree with you, Sean, because they wouldn't want to feel like they're going on a boat ride in their living room. But you can watch it, like you said, as a replay or as highlights.
And the refs don't want to be like any pressure to like get the right angle. Like, I'm looking to protect
That
the
too.
next guy that gets.
Yeah. No,
Like,
that's
if
so
you watch
true.
the last fight, Anthony
point.
Pettis against Wonder Boy, especially if you saw the highlights, I was going crazy in Discord about it because it was
It's
just
funny
one of those-
watching your crazy Discords like 2 days
All by
after the
myself.
fight. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's he arguing with, though?
all by myself, my friend. I figure I just keep talking, someone's going to show up.
Even Discord is an immutable ledger.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah. But just the fact that, like, you could see in that one, like, the guy that won suddenly a single punch, basically, and out of nowhere, he was kind of losing.
Dude,
and
that
so
was
you-
wicked, man.
Yeah. So you kind of
Oh my
saw
God.
Herb Dean, the ref, kind of like, oh God, like, you know, watching, you know, they kind of gone into this rhythm where they were going back and forth. He put him to the defense.
Yeah.
Everyone was lulled into this rhythm. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, he throws this Superman punch, puts him out cold, and he caught him off guard. So to me, it's like, maybe it would be at least interesting to see that angle. And again, you know, as far as going back to the pay-per-view thing, that was on ESPN, and it's really cool to have, you know, like, it be an ESPN sport. So in that way, it's really cool. So I can see why they're doing it. It just seems like a big risk to me. So that's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to bring it up because I'm trying to get more traction with, you know, the sport and the community around here.
Wax Science
Yeah.
says, "What's up?" I don't know if he's still
X
watching.
Science, what's up, dude?
What's up?
Hey.
Jump on the steaming pile.
Yeah, it's interesting because at least for me, the biggest sport here, it would have to be, and maybe it's biased, but I think it's football. Football is pretty massive.
Of course, yeah.
Got franchises. I mean, there's an entire season dedicated to these fucking things, and people are bought all into it. So I remember football, and I don't even know if they do it anymore, but do you guys remember they did the whole red zone thing?
Mm-hmm. They still do.
NFL red zone, do they? Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
the concept of red zone. Yeah, I guess they kind of did create that, didn't they?
Yeah. So it was
That's true.
Again, it was this idea that you would take, and I guess James Fury said that they've taken a similar concept in the gaming realm, right? Where you take these most like, you know, heart pounding moments, it's most exciting moments, and then, you know, that's what people want to watch.
Yeah.
I guess fighting is a bit different, but I guess what I was trying to bring in or pull in was this idea of I don't know, being able to watch a few different fights from, I don't know, maybe different places that
And you could do that
maybe
internationally. That would be neat.
Yeah, maybe there's simultaneous events that are going on.
Like live
I don't-
PD for
who knows?
fighting.
Live what?
Live PD for fighting. You know how they go to the 8 different counties and do the live police officers patrol cam? You could do it for
Right.
like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you have it for fighting, and it is more of a global or an international type product.
You know, being from the fight world and knowing the promoters and owners of Axe Fighting, back when I was actually training with them, I used to go for free because I'd help like set up the ring and all the chairs and everything in the place we do it. And you know, it had been a few years removed, but it was like in the middle of doing like the Bernie 2016 stuff with John, that I was like, I pushed hard. Like, man, I know you're like, they do just tickets. They don't have any TV, right? They're just selling seats. And I was like, have you ever thought about like streaming it? Nah. And he got like such the weird idea. I realized just how incredibly competitive that game is, at least in this area, like the fight promoting game, because he was just instantly like, hey dude, if you want to do it, you go ahead and be our guest. And he like instantly took opposition, like fucking good luck, dude, and
Whoa.
don't like step on our dicks while you try, and lose all this money. Like I was like, no, I want to work with you. I'm not trying to start my own thing. And he was like instantly like, oh, okay, well, the ticket selling's kind of our thing, and just streaming's just, I don't know how it would work as far as making money. And if you come up with any advertisers, we'll pay you like $200 per advertiser that you sign on.
Or
And
betting. You know what? They should fucking just open up betting. Betting will help with revenue.
That was another
Yeah,
thing
but
that
isn't that
Patrick said.
illegal?
Not anymore. Not in the United
What
States.
the fuck, man? How dumb is that, though?
I thought sports
If you
betting is
change
now
regulation-
federally not illegal. It's legal now,
I think
and the
statewide.
states have
Our
to
state.
the states are going to determine.
Our
So then
state's a
just
dick
set it
about
up through Montana or Wyoming.
Is that legal? I don't do that.
You got to
tomorrow.
move there. I mean,
Oh well, fuck. I
or
could.
find someone,
that's the
or
thing.
find a partner that lives there that wants to do a fight.
Well, yeah. That's
simulcast.
always what gamblers say. But I mean, if there's anything I could make money off of, I think it's fighting. Because still, it's like such an up in the air thing where there's no triple A, double A, where it's like, oh, this guy's been doing really good against. Like it's not as it's like, oh, this guy's from Thailand. He's been kickboxing over there for 8 years. Now he's doing MMA. He's been wrestling for like 3 months. We're gonna put him against another guy who's been doing X for this amount, and like you really never know. And then they'll be like, people have heard some things, but the other guy will be the favorite because he's American and he's known in the MMA world. And you're just like, oh, no one has any idea what this guy's about to get his ass kicked. You see it
Right.
over and over again. So you feel
That's
like you don't
interesting.
see the ones that you're wrong, but I feel like, damn, sometimes you really see a dog is like, oh, I see this. I could make some money off this. So the potential's there. I never see that with football or anything. I'm just like, ugh, I don't. It always seems like the people that are supposed to win, and it's
Yeah, it's not even that. I mean, you can bet on how many catches they have per game or something,
Prop
that's
bets.
true. You can do that with fighting too. Like, oh
Yeah,
shit, I don't know who's
punches
gonna
down.
win, but I bet the over under on how many takedowns he gets against
sure.
this dude that has no takedown defense is like 8.
Patrick was saying that's what someone should create, a Dex on Steam that is a sports betting, sports gambling DApp.
Yeah, I see all kinds of not games, but like what's the word they use for it? Not awards. Come on, what am I thinking of? I'm drawing a blank. On Steam.
Games, awards,
Incentive.
Contests. Sorry.
Okay.
That was a weird word to forget.
Got it.
I know, right? There's all kinds of contests, but I'm honest. I've got so many other things going on. It's kind of like the 777 thing. Like, it's just tell me what to fucking do. I'll just post. I don't want
Right.
to worry
I
about.
don't want to follow
all these
5
hashtags
rules.
and follow-
I just-
yeah, fuck the rules.
I would
dude.
rather have 13 cents for a picture that I took on my phone that I was going to take anyway.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
Is that
I think-
lazy? Is that bad content creation?
No,
Should I not
dude,
be outing my...
it's more fluid, man.
Yeah.
it's it's what's
like,
natural.
Here's a
you know?
river that I drove by. I think it's really pretty. What do you think?
Like last night at the bar, post show, after the stream, we're talking about it. Steam comes up. No one's fucking. No one's excited about Steam. I'm gonna just come out there and say it, man. Everyone's like, I don't know if the leadership's right. They know about the leadership, and they're not even on the Steam. And they're like, I've heard leadership's, and I just don't know if a coin that's not stable is gonna be has a future when it comes to making content creation. And I'm just like, they were making good points, and I didn't know what to say.
Some of those points are good. Some of them aren't. We
Yeah,
had a good
absolutely.
conversation on it Sunday, man. Is that all these DApp creators and all these front end developers? They're the ones that are building their audiences and bringing people in. People are going to be interacting with Steamians and not have any idea because they're on Partico or they're on ActiveFit or they're looking at Steam Peak. They're not going to know. And and it'll be interesting, right? It truly has, and we've talked about it, it has decentralized leadership. It has witnesses. It has developers. It has front end managers. It has content creators. So all of those, like we brought on James. James has an account just because we had a dynamic conversation on our last episode. That's how it's going to grow. So there's 80,000 active users now. If people invite other people, I understand the leadership piece but let's remember, the Steam lost its, Dan kind of started it with Ned, and he's on to other projects, but other people, and it's open source, are working on it and being devs on it. We're not beholden to Steam it, other than for running full nodes and things like that. I don't want to dismiss them either, though, right? Because...
here's my thing then. Let me just jump in, because I hear tons of talk about Ethereum and how you can build on Ethereum, and Ethereum's got all these games they're building on it. So lately I want like a paper that is like Ethereum versus Steam. Like I want the, what is it called with the overlapping circles? The
Venn diagram.
The Venn diagram between those two, because I think that would help me understand things a little better. Why do people
I think you're
it's
coming
better?
up with a topic for your next paper. We're not doing that for you.
No, maybe that's an episode in the future for sure.
I think it is. And I think that's where we are right now with all these blockchains. Is they're all still relatively new. Obviously, Bitcoin was first to the game. Ethereum also, they've had changes along the way. I think that's where we are, is what's the next phase. You guys know that I love the word interoperability. I think that it's going to be a different organization that figures out interoperability between blockchains for the next 5 years, if I were to outlook that. And then in 10 years, we're having the conversation of being able to dismiss blockchains because they don't work. That's my opinion. It's like, we can't be dismissing right now. We can be maximalists and we can be creators and things like that, but we can't be dismissive of things until we can actually figure out whether or not there's vulnerabilities and whether or not it really can or can't last.
Yeah, so there's this website called State of the dApps. You guys have probably heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Steam is like one of the most highly used dApps out there, right? So there's a lot of transactions on Steam, and I mean, they're pulling in all of the blockchains that, or I guess, more better known blockchains. They're pulling all these stats in, figuring out which ones are actually gaining momentum, or at least have some kind of activity on there. And Steam's up there. So, dude, I mean, it's hard to argue with the fact that it has transactions. I mean, just activity happening on there. How do you argue against activity? I don't know.
Right.
It's true.
But yeah, I get where John's coming from too. Or I mean, so what John's saying makes sense, that we could sit here and dismiss these blockchains, but nobody fucking knows.
Yeah, I think it had come up last night because I asked straight up. I have $100.
Who'd you ask?
I got the group. So after these talks,
oh, the ones from Crypto Slate.
Yeah, well, Crypto Slate and whoever was there, and the speakers. So the speakers were two people who are part of the.
Do you remember who they were?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Well, maybe you should. Maybe that's another reason why you were hesitant to invite them, because you didn't want us to yell at them if they were going to not be excited about Steam.
I'm going to be honest. It was mostly Mitchell talking about that, so he's already guilty of being on the pile.
Wait, I was going to say, yeah, that's right. I'm like that guy.
Yeah, he's on it. So
that was when I was listening without electricity.
Yes,
or
that's
without
right.
internet.
Yeah. It was Patrick Meehan, who's the CEO of CryptoGogue. That's Crypto Gogue. They're coming up with a game very, very, very similar to Steam Monsters, which I mentioned at the bar afterwards. He was didn't seem to be familiar. And then James Davis was also there. He was the director of development at Good Block. So those were the two speakers. The third was not able to make it, unfortunately.
Does Crypto Slate have a Steam account? Is he opposed to getting one?
I'm on it. I'm on it, but no, not yet.
Is he opposed? That's my question.
I haven't put it in a way for him to be opposed yet, so I don't know.
But you just
I'm
say,
wondering.
hey, Mitchell. I just wanted you to know, since you were concerned about the blockchain, I'm going to start you a Steam account for $2.50 with a 15 or 90 SP delegation.
I want a
from Steam
multi-stream.
Ninja.
You know,
Yeah,
if we're gonna do the events, I mean, why not?
and we'll just see how it goes. After 90 days, you can decide whether or not we keep the account or not.
Exactly.
And then we'll
there
just
you go.
pile a whole shitload of Steam on it and be like, hey,
Come on.
look at Crypto Slate. Look at that Steam.
Exactly.
All right, so check this out, man. Check this out. So good block. Good block.
Before you go, sorry, just the name of the speech was "Blockchain Delight: Driving Mass Adoption Through Better UX." So that's what they were talking about.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I will say, good block seems to be powered by the EOS blockchain. That in itself, I guess there's contention between Steam and the founder of Steam leaving Steam and going to build EOS.
Yep.
He wasn't involved. He was, you know, how the group sometimes split. He was talking to someone else. It was actually Patrick Meehan from Cryptogogue that was the one that was talking about it.
Yeah, I can't find him.
I know specifically they were mentioning that they built their card game on their own blockchain, which I can't recall the name of, but yeah, it's their own separate one. And he's local, definitely. I mean, I don't know. James might be too, but I know Patrick is. So I instantly thought about tracking him down, inviting him, at least maybe doing an one-on-one interview. But then again, I'm like, geez, I don't want to get it over my head. I'm still, you know, man, I can't, you know. Every now and then, you know what it is. I'm more easy to being like, oh, this is over my head, which I said a couple times last night. You know, they're good at all, like they'll look at me and be like, what do you think? And the first time I bullshitted it pretty good. The second time I was like, I actually don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about right now. Continue. I'm just learning at this point. So, and that's okay. Now I'm comfortable being the guy that's learning. So, but yeah, super cool conversation. And especially cool to hang out with them after and just, you know how it is. We were talking about everything from like security to Steam to my teenager to, you know, everything. So it's cool. It's nice to, I mean, you guys are the only people other than my family I hang out with since last March, basically. Because we moved to Bellevue. And so everyone I knew, the friend I had that I hung out with was up north. And so it's nice now. All of a sudden, I've got Mitchell and James that, you know, I'm going to start so I have actual human contact, which is, it's cool. It's nice to actually go out to a bar and
It's good. Yeah.
hang out with the guys and chill. You know, my wife's great, but you know, you gotta have friends. You gotta have guy friends. We got to be able to. One day we'll be able to drink together, but right now it's all virtual.
Denver should be the spot unless you guys come to a conference in Cleveland. Then we'll come visit you, Sean. Just because Washington's expensive. Not that Denver's cheap, but
no, I'll take that as the top of the list. Denver might be right there, but San Francisco has a lot of them too, and it's super pricey. So I'd say Seattle's probably under San Fran, but over Denver.
Cleveland's probably our least expensive.
I'd say so. I'd be blown away if it wasn't.
Might be bored after a couple days, but no, there's tons to see over here.
What Hall of Fame's up there?
Rock and roll.
It's the rock and roll.
It's really just a tribute to Rolling Stone magazine.
Okay, because we've got the EMP up here, which is pretty cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, I went in there. People always ask if you would go. I'm like, if you like Rolling Stone magazine and are into rock pop, then definitely go.
I mean, what else is there to do in Cleveland other than sports? Probably sports stuff is.
Yeah, sports stuff. There's a good Playhouse Square. There's a good theater district.
Oh, there you go.
And then old architecture.
That's actually, I like that. I like history, So
yeah.
I'm a dork like that.
Old architecture downtown, like the Tower City Center and the Fifth Street Arcade and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
To have like a huge mall that goes from one end to the other with big glass rounded ceilings. It's cool.
Nice.
Like I said, like summer or like now until September.
All right, well, I
Yeah,
guess since we're winding down.
Mickey yawned. That's usually the sign.
Did he? Oh, no.
Like about 5 minutes
That's
ago.
why I said that. I was like, okay. I feel it.
What came through? It like he yawned into the microphone. And
Did I really?
I think you were no, you were muted. I just saw you do it, but still, when that happens live, you just
Even if you see it.
feel
Yeah.
it. You're like,
Yep,
oh,
traveled.
shit. So
That's
hey,
right.
we
Yeah,
we
next
made it
week,
over an hour. I was surprised. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure what would happen. See, every episode's different, man.
Well, and I figured, I told my wife even, like, I'll go for a half hour and it'll probably stretch out to an hour because you never know where it's going to lead, you know?
Yep.
You never know. Even on days when I'm like, damn, I don't feel like it. I don't really feel talkative.
No matter what channel you all are watching on,
Jesus.
you can come into the same Zoom room and hang out with us live every Tuesday.
Exactly. Mine's right over there. That way. Right, that way. It's
Mine's right there.
on the left side of the screen. All right, guys. So next week, I'm not positive will be the music one, but I'm going to reach out to DJ Smiles. Maybe it'll be like 2 weeks out for that one, so we can try and nail down someone else to talk about the EU sitch, and I don't know, we'll figure it out. We can always have Mitchell wants to come on again.
Oh,
So we can
well
always
then,
have him come
yeah,
on.
we're gonna get him to come on. Where he's gonna get a personal Steam account and one for Crypto Slate.
Oh, dang.
We should just fucking do it anyways. Have him buy it from us.
I'm gonna buy him Crypto
Yeah.
Slate. So, honestly, man, someone's probably already bought it. Someone took
Probably.
the people's blockchain on us.
If only with our own luck, I will take that free publicity. I'm sure. Yeah, it's tough. So that's the next thing too. Making sure we get lots of names out there. I don't know. You never know why people don't show up, but it wasn't too many. It was like a dozen, and so we'll figure it out.
For what?
We're just getting everything together. To the thing, like in person, there was about a dozen people
Gotcha.
there.
Yeah.
Downtown Seattle, afternoon, a Tuesday, or a Monday. So I mean, I get it. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't. So I know I mentioned this a while back, but so we were having meetups too. And the meetups were great. This was back in the ICO craze. Everybody wanted to figure out what the fuck was going on. And we kicked these meetups off. It was just an introduction to blockchain tech. What the hell is it? What's going on here? And like the groups grew pretty crazy over the span of like 3 months. But after that is either you're faced with the decision of either taking a more lower level direction to describe blockchain
I see where you're going
at the
with
tech
this, yeah.
level,
Mhm.
or really what should be happening is you need to start presenting items. What's been launched? Can we use these things? What can we use in these meetups to help with the adoption? We could sit here and say
Well,
these
showcases.
yes,
Is that what you're
exactly.
saying?
We can sit
Okay.
here and say these things are great, but if nobody's using them and we can't bring them in and show how effective they are, in shit like that, then that's no good. But so that's typically what I see out of either conferences and all these things is there's only a certain level of people that want to hear so much about these things. You've got to be able to show what they're producing too. So
like that.
integrating the tech in these meetups is good. Maybe sign up with some shit. I don't know, but it's gotta go to that level.
Right, like how they used to have the old LAN parties, like finding people or businesses that would be willing to do that, where people can just go in and have it be more of like a kind of either a showroom type or you know, some type of thing where everyone's just kind of like hopping from place to place, and you can set your laptop down and share and get people, you know, like you said, actually functioning and using it and being able to just easily share addresses and transact or trade.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for money, but you know, trade content or trade for stuff, barter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have concessions that you know
Mm-hmm.
you use Litecoin for, whatever.
Definitely ideas I'll be bringing to the table. Or we can even, next time he jumps on, maybe next week, we'll just, you know, add it to the conversation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And
Always.
I won't be live streaming next week, but I'll have the Zoom room open and I'll be in.
Cool.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, good night. I'm gonna go have dinner. See how the steaks are coming.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks,
Yeah, dude.
man.
Yep.
I appreciate it. Here's to next year, and well, geez, episode 50 next week. So, and
Damn.
maybe the year anniversary, we'll call it, maybe episode.
I'll be looking forward to seeing the thumbnail so that I can spam it out on all my pages and take the upvotes.
It'll be done. I will be posting it. Keep an eye out for it.
That was a thank you. That
I
was a
appreciate it.
kudos.
You're welcome. I have fun making them. You know, they're simple, but it's fun to put together. So,
Cool.
all right, guys. Good night.
God, yeah, hold
All right.
on before you leave.
Yeah, no.
You have a nice fucking camera, dude. Can you shoot over like the model number to your camera?
Yeah, what's funny is it's so like the more when I use webcams, the more it's like a lot of it's just the area and the lighting. Because like for instance, the one we used on the live stream last night, I was trying to use I figured out a way to use my camera, my DSLR, as a webcam. So next time I'm going to do that, but I of course forgot the fucking cord, so I had to use Mitchell's new super fancy Logitech webcam, which I have like the regular, just like 1080p Logitech cam.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's
Probably have the
excuse
same
me
one
while
I do.
I mean, it's really simple. Here, one quick. Actually, let me do this. I can go boom, boom. Oh, hold on. No, okay. I didn't like that. Never mind.
That's all right. That's all
Thought it
right.
didn't work.
You
But
thought you could switch live and you wouldn't have to leave Zoom and
why
come
wouldn't
back?
it let you? That's ridiculous. Whatever. Anyways. Yeah, it's just like the Logitech 1080. The one he got, which I don't know how it's fancier, but it's like all silver and cool. But I've just got like the regular black Logitech. Here's the key. Because like if I shut this off and use the room lights, it's all funky. So I bought one of these guys.
The more we can connect with people that have shiny new toys like silver
Yeah.
Logitech
Just
cameras,
a real
the
simple
better.
Home Depot.
Nice. Okay.
Look at that
Clamp it
messy
on there.
desk.
Oh, dude.
It's terrible.
You
Jesus.
have no idea.
Oh my,
That's
what a
just
tech rat.
clean,
Look at
bro.
the tech rat. What is all that
Oh, yeah.
shit?
Oh,
That's a D-tube, or that's a D-tube
it's like a
vlog.
motion sensor light, you know.
Here's, you can do Steam Hunt right from your desk.
Yeah.
You just do product promotion, put a
What do
little
we got?
link
What
up
do
to
we
the
got?
store, boom.
Little thing from Africa my wife got. You know, she went to Africa to build windmills for her college thing. So she did, yeah. So yeah, I'm naturally. You know, they say that messy desks are a sign of
Intelligence?
sure.
That's what I tell
I'm
people.
good. You said it, not me.
That's right.
All right, guys. Good night.
Right on,
I
dude.
appreciate it,
All right,
and I'll
guys.
see you next week.
All right, on the
Cheers.
steaming pile.
All right, take care.
Later.
y'all.